Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Rose Janice, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Jennifer's Autistic Life. In this episode, I'm going to talk about my autistic traits. I've talked about them in the last video, but I'm going to go more in depth with my traits and everything. So, first of all, I've really have a lot of difficulty with communication, as like having a conversation with people. I'm not really good at small talk. It's like, no way, I just so I have difficulty with socialization. I don't have many friends. Because I really don't have any friends at all. I don't think I do at this point. I didn't have many friends when I was growing up either. Being different. I love routine. My routine's everything to me. I don't like having my routine disrupted by anybody. I hate change. And I have severe sensory issues towards touch. I hate being touched. I don't like hugs. I just don't like that deep pressure. I mean, some autistic people crave that. I don't. I'm like, no, just get away, you know? I don't like just being squeezed. I just don't. I mean, if anybody's gonna hug me, just very, very lightly hug me. If I can take that, you know? Like, I just can't take all that, you know, all the sensory input, you know, when it comes to touching. I also have difficulty with processing things, touch, and directions. I'm not really good with verbal directions. If it's written down, great. I mean, verbal directions, if you tell me to do something, it has all this, have more than 3 things, I mean, you lose me. I'm like, okay, I'm at a loss of what I'm supposed to do, what you want me to do. And I also have sensory issues towards clothing. I don't like tags in my clothes. I don't like really tight-fitting clothes either. I don't like it. I'm not very coordinated. Like, you know, like dance. Dance has a lot of steps and everything, and that's something I just not really good at all. Dance. I tried dance classes for about a year or two. Was like, oh no, it's not really good if you have sensory issues, if you have difficulty processing things, and you know, with instructions. Not a good idea. Not taking dance ever again. It was one of the worst things I've ever tried in my life. That's one of the regrets of my life, that I've actually tried dance. Okay, back to some of my sensory issues. So I don't like tags in my clothing. And yeah, I like, you know, baggy clothes, you know, it's something more comfortable. I don't like tight stuff like turtlenecks. I know I'm repeating myself, but sometimes I do that. Some people hate that when I repeat myself. You know. But I used to have that echolalia, you know, when I was beginning to talk again, be verbal again, where I repeat the same, somebody's, you know, what people have said. But sometimes I just go over and over again sometimes. And it annoys people. Sometimes it annoys people if I ask questions, ask for clarification on things. I mean, I just want to know. I just want to make sure that I understand. I just want to know more information. Anyway, I really don't like crowds. Crowds are... I remember in high school, although I do love theater and everything, and I like theater and everything, I just didn't like rally days when I was in high school. It was too much, because there was too many people in the gym. Like, the whole entire class is in the gym, and it's loud, and the gym has an echo. It's like, it's all too much. And also, I hated fire drills in school. I know there are people on the spectrum that just hate fire drills. It's annoying. Like, yeah, it's upsetting. It's shocking, and it's shocking to the senses, and it disrupts your day. I also have food sensitivities. I don't like foods that are too crunchy, too rubbery, too hard, with sharp edges. I don't like hot drinks, so I don't like hot coffee or tea, or hot chocolate. I also I'm very sensitive to, I don't like carbonated beverages, so I don't like soda. I don't like how it feels coming down my throat. I just don't like that. So, no soda for me. I just cannot take it. I just give me some, 1% milk and some water or some Gatorade and I'll be fine. That's pretty much the beverages I drink. And, I don't like, other thing I don't like is restaurants. Yeah, I don't like eating in restaurants. I can't do that. It's just too much sensory input, and I get difficulty with, with that. I mean, a picnic would be okay, because we're outdoors and it's not in a confined space with a bunch of people. It's weird. I don't like rallies, but I like parades because, you're outside and you're not confined. I don't know, it's all kinds of weird, I guess, with that. And I was in a parade once when I did my first play in college. I mean, that was cool. And I have some stems. My go-to stem is to pace back and forth with my headphones on. I have to have my headphones with my music. I have to. Just almost pretty much every day. Sometimes I don't, but pretty much for the most part I do. Yeah, pacing. I like to wander around. Maybe take a walk in nature. I like making lists, lists of what have to do. Like everything neat and organized. Sometimes I like to organize everything in my room. And when I'm upset, sometimes I talk and rhyme. Oh, that's kind of weird, but I do. I talk and rhyme. And yeah. And I have a lot of fidget toys too that I have I like the fidget cube. And the squishy balls and the squishy cat or dog, I have one of those. The fidget spinner. I don't really like that fidget slug. I don't like the noise it makes. Some autistic people like that, but I don't. Anyway. Let's see. Okay. So I hate change. I love talking to animals on the way to the store. I know it's kind of unusual. I talked to some animals on the way going somewhere. Like I talked to a pigeon once while he or she was eating a donut. And I talked to a mother deer who had a baby that was hanging out in somebody's front yard. Or I say hi to all the cats that are out front of a place. Oh, hello. How are you? We're having a nice day or a good evening, whatever. I mean, it's a lot easier to talk to the animals and talk to people because they're not going to be annoyed at you or yell at you or bully you, and it's just nice. And unless have some animals who just listen to me. I swear that deer actually listened to me for a little bit and then went back to be with her baby and hang out in somebody's fantastic front yard. I swear it was decorated just for them. I think that's really cool. And the other thing that really calms me is animals. Yeah, animals. Stuffed animals calm me, and I also have to have earplugs. If I have sensory overload, I have to have earplugs. And so I'm very sensitive to noise too. I would, and sometimes I could have like, sometimes I'm very sensitive to like my watch ticking. I could sit it down on my desk, go across the room and try to take a nap and be like, oh, what's that loud noise? It's my watch. I mean, it wouldn't bother other people, but it bothers me. And there are other sounds that really annoy me. That's worse than nails on a chalkboard. It's leaves. I hate leaves scratching along the ground. Leaves crunching. When I walk outside, I try to avoid stepping on leaves. I know it's weird. I just cannot stand that sound. I cannot. I hate it. Like, ew. So anyway, another thing, I'm very sensitive to light. I don't like unfiltered lighting. It can cause seizures, It can cause seizures in me. So unfiltered lighting, try to avoid it. Try not to look at it. I can't stand strobe lights. And, I just don't like that. So I try to, like, avoid anything that will trigger me sensory-wise or to have a seizure. I try not to have too much stress, too, so I try to have, like, at least have a nap during the day. Every day, like 2 or 3 hour nap. I know, like, I can actually, like, yeah, about 1 or 2 hour nap when I can. Sometimes if I don't, it's hard to function. I mean, you have to process things, and there's this whole spoon theory thing where you have a set amount of spoons, and you have to, and take a certain amount of spoons to do a certain task. If I have to go out and go shopping and interact with the person at the checkout, in the checkout line, that's gonna cost me some spoons. That'll wear me out. I mean, social interaction tires me out. Whether good or bad, it's tiring. I'm not good in groups. Like I've said this in a previous, in my last video. I don't do too well in groups. Not too well. I mean, the autism group I was in a few years ago, yeah, well. I suppose I would do better if I was in groups with people who shared my same interests with, like, animals and acting and art. I mean, animals, I can talk about that till the cows come home. I can talk about that all day long. So, that's pretty much it about my... Wait a minute. I am prone to meltdowns. If I'm stressed and I'm in a group or something, I'm prone to meltdowns. I've meltdown in front of people. I'm not happy about it. I have to go to the store, early, so where there's not hardly any crowds, because I don't want to have a meltdown and be overwhelmed. I mean, the worst time to ever go to a store is like in the evening between like 3 and 6. Like 3 in the afternoon and 6 in the evening. I'm like, that is the worst time. And so I try to go like as early as possible, so I get in there and buy what I need and just get out. So, yeah. So I try to always be careful not to have a meltdown in front of people, and be mindful of that, and be aware of, okay, how I'm feeling and stuff. And sometimes it's hard to tell people how you feel when you're autistic. Like, somebody offers you some water and when you're talking to them and like, huh, you're like, no, I don't, no thanks, I don't need any water, but you're really thirsty, but you're nervous. Sometimes it's hard to like to say what you need from people, you know. But I'm gonna try to work on that. You know, it's like always a work in progress. Try to be better at communicating with people your needs and your wants and everything. And you know, it's hard and I'm improving, and especially not having too many meltdowns and trying more constructive ways to deal with melting down. You don't want to like disturb people. You have to think of more constructive ways to deal with your sensory overload, deal with being upset. And so, you know, that's the challenges of life. Being on an autistic person. So I just do everything that calms me. Try to live life the best I can, being on the spectrum, and you know, it's a challenge, it's hard, but I know I can do it. You know, other people on the spectrum can do it. So, that's all I have to say for this video. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.